grew up anywhere near church, you probably heard this one many times. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you, and that you may enjoy long life on the earth. So why does it say that it's important to honor your father and mother? So it may go well with you, and that you may live long on the earth, which is a good thing. I personally want things to go well with me, and I want to live a long time. And the longer I live, the longer I want to live, I find. Next one, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. So here, Paul writes that if we rebel against our authorities, the authorities in our life, we're really rebelling against God. And so you sort of start to see, okay, this is why if I want things to go well for me, it's important to honor my parents, because if I'm honoring my parents, I'm really honoring God. If I'm not honoring my parents, I'm actually dishonoring God. Let's take it out of sort of the theory realm and make it a bit more concrete. I have here a lovely umbrella, which I borrowed from my daughter this evening. Now, if you will imagine that you are me, and the umbrella represents your parents, okay? And in life, if you're showing honor to your parents, then what happens is you're under their authority and under their protection. And when the storms of life come down upon you, you're protected. Now, when you start to think, as we all do, that I don't need that. They're old. They don't know what they're talking about. It's stuff. And you step out from under that. What happens is not that God decides, ooh, you big jerk, I'm going to show you, you should honor your parents. Zap. What happens is you just simply moved out from under your protection. Did anyone see on the news, it was last week, about the golf ball sized hailstones that were falling in Kansas in the United States? Monster hailstones were falling down. Now, let's say this umbrella was something a bit more substantial than tweeny fabric. And you have a nice sturdy metal umbrella, golf ball, and you're under it. The golf ball sized hailstones are not going to hurt you. You're going to be fine. You move out from underneath it, and there's balls of ice being pelted down out of the sky. It's going to hurt, isn't it? It's going to do some damage to you. Am I right? Yeah. Yes. But here you're protected. Here you're not protected. Not. And it's a simple principle that is just built in to the universe. That when we stay under the authority that's placed in our lives, things go well for us. When we get stroppy and move out from under that, things start to go badly. Not because someone's out to get us, not because God wants to teach you a lesson, but simply because you moved out of the safe area. And so you've opened yourself up to attacks. Now, another thing about being under authority is that it gives you two things that you wouldn't think it would give you. It gives you freedom and it gives you power. Now you would think, if I'm sticking myself somewhere where I'm under someone else's control, that's going to restrict my freedom. If I can't move out from under that little umbrella, that's a bit dull. There's the whole wide world and I'm stuck under this umbrella. You wouldn't think it's going to give you freedom. And if you're doing what someone else is telling you all the time, you think, well, how do I have any power? I don't have any control. I don't have any freedom. I don't have any autonomy. I can't go do what I want to do. I'm stuck in this spot. But think for a moment, if you will, of a policeman. Now, you get a police constable, goes out, he sees someone breaking the law, and he goes up, and he can arrest that person. Now, what would happen if you went up and tried to arrest a person?
He'd hit you.
He would hit you, or he'd laugh at you and walk off. Or, you know, you'd get some choice words thrown at you, and whatever. You wouldn't get them very arrested, would you? But a policeman can go up and he can do that. He's under the authority of the police force, which is under the authority of the government, and they've given him authority to go out and arrest people who are breaking the law. Now, what if that person who's breaking the law attacks him? Does he have to just sit there and take it?
No.
No, he can get his extendable baton out and, you know, give them blows around the ears until they decide what they're doing is a bad idea. Because he has the authority to do that, and he has the freedom to do that. And that comes not from him going out and thinking, I'm the cool lion, I am justice, and I'm going to go out and inflict some justice on the world. If you went out and decided you were going to take care of all the baddies in the world, how far would you get? Nowhere, right? You would get stopped and no one would care. You would get ignored, possibly beaten up or something. But a policeman has authority. And not only does he have authority and freedom to do stuff like that, he also has protection. He's got a little radio, he can call for backup, and pretty soon he's got a whole bunch of other policemen with their batons who can go whacking people on the head, and if need be, he can call up other policemen with guns and they can shoot people. They've got all these resources backing them up, all this authority, all this power backing them up, because they are under authority, not out acting on their own. Now, if we bring this back to relationships, what happens when you put yourself under your parents' authority when it comes to relationships? Then you have the freedom to, within the the guidelines that your parents give you, to act and do what you want to do, and you can go be you with your friends, go do what you want to do, knowing that you've got your parents' blessing and support behind you. And if you go somewhere and find you're in a bit of trouble, you're not afraid to call on your dad to come and sort them out, because you know your dad's on your team, and he's going to come and deal with whoever's messing with you. And so you get a support system that helps you through things, helps you get where you need to go. And so being under authority seems like being constricted, being stuck, being imprisoned. It's actually the opposite. It gives you the freedom and the safety to do things, to go out, to enjoy life, to do what you need to do.